Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Alex Thomas here, back with another video for you guys. Today I'm here finishing off, not really finishing off, because I got one more movies to review for the X-Men movies, but I'm starting off ending this series with X-Men Dark Phoenix. At the time it was called just Dark Phoenix, but this was a weird point in time when this movie was coming out. Obviously at this point Disney required the rights to X-Men characters and Fox and stuff, so this was kind of a weird movie. I think at the point they already had it made and they just, all right, let's just put it out and see how it does, and then of course this will be the end of this X-Men universe, and then we'll go on and see what the MCU does. So basically I'm about to give you guys my review on this movie. Hope you guys are ready for this. This movie was directed by the first time by Simon Kinberg. He has been a part of the X-Men movies in the past, so this is his first time directing, and he wrote this movie as well. So I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this. Hope you guys are ready for this. If you guys enjoy more videos like this, please hit that like button and please subscribe for more. So let's go and get into this review, you guys. Let's get it. Let's go. Alright, you guys, like I said, this is X-Men Dark Phoenix. Yes, I'm going to call it that because when it came out, I guess physically, or when they did the marketing, they changed it to X-Men Dark Phoenix. At first, I remember when the first trailer dropped, it was just called Dark Phoenix at the time. And of course, this is the second time that they are doing the Dark Phoenix saga. They did the Dark Phoenix plot in X-Men Last Stand. Of course, that was a lot going on in that movie. They also had the Cure plot line and stuff like that. But this one is kind of really just focusing on the Dark Phoenix saga, well, at least, you know, at a point. So of course we got all the remaining characters come back from X-Men Apocalypse, and basically this movie is following Jean as she gets inherited by this cosmic force that kind of brings out the Phoenix out of her. 'Cause I believe in X-Men Apocalypse, she displayed this type of power where she had the power to obliterate people, but this is before, and I don't know if this movie kind of retcons that, but I feel like it doesn't retcon it. I feel like it does happen where she kind of obliterates Apocalypse. So she kind of I think she had that ability before, but I think the cosmic force that's in the space kind of brings it out and makes it stronger, and she can't control it. So that's basically the hints of this story. And right off the bat, this is like, I think the third time I watched this movie, and I remember the first time I watched it, I said it wasn't that bad. I thought it was okay. My second time watching it, I grew to like it a little bit more, and then this watch, I was like, well, I kind of feel like the first time I watched it. This movie, it's okay. It's okay. Is it forgettable? Yes. This is a forgettable film. And like I said earlier in the video, this was at a point in time when Disney already required the rights to Fox. They required all the rights to Fox, so of course we knew that they weren't going to move forward with this X-Men universe. So of course all these characters that were cast and everything, of course everything happened to happen. They were going to recast everybody. They was going to do a whole new story, so they had to put this out because it was already completed. They weren't just going to can it. And like I said, this was Simon Kinberg's first movie directing, and he wrote this movie as well. And let me go ahead and get into the direction. I thought the direction was fine, and also he wrote it as well. And like I said, I think the script was fine. Everything was just fine and kind of just meh, I guess you could say. This is a very meh movie. And you could definitely tell that you could tell he's worked on these movies before. The one thing I can give credit about this movie is the action sequences. I think some of the action sequences are pretty dope. The train sequence at the end is actually a pretty fire action sequence. And the scene where, spoiler, I'm going to get into spoilers in this video. Even the scene where Jean first attacks the team, I do like the way that scene is constructed as well. And like I said, I do like the way they display Jean's powers. I do like all that stuff. But I can't give them all the credit. Like I said, this movie is very mediocre. Even with the performances, I believe our main leads are basically just, following along, at this point. I think some of them give good performances. James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, I feel like they're always on top of their game, regardless to how not good the script is. I feel like they are still good as these characters. Everyone else kind of feels far on the wayside, especially with Nicholas Hoult. I feel like he's kind of downgraded his performance within this movie, and obviously Jennifer Lawrence. We already know the stories about her in these movies. I think she was kind of just done being Mystique. So of course they was gonna kill her off. Spoiler: they was going to kill her off, and I could tell she was just done with this franchise. Now we got the main, I guess you could say really this is the main character, and that is Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. And like I said, she's fine in the movie. My only issue is that we only experienced one movie with her, and she really didn't bring that much to it. So to make her the main focus, it's like we don't really care. We don't care. Like we don't care about her as much, and we don't care about Scott as much. Like that X-Men Apocalypse really didn't give us that much to really care about these characters in this movie. And if you really want to be real, like the fact that they already moved forward with the Dark Phoenix saga with our second introduction of Jean, to me it just doesn't make any sense. And like of course we've all said it in many videos before, the Dark Phoenix sagas, the Dark Phoenix storyline doesn't need to be done in one movie. This is something that needs to be expanded within multiple movies. And I just feel like they didn't need to do this. And like I said, I think Sophie Turner is fine as Jean Grey. I did like certain sequences that she was in, but you know, it is what it is. Like I said, the script is not very good, and like I said, the direction is very mediocre at best. And like I said, this was at a weird time where we knew that the X-Men were done. They were done. If I'm not mistaken, they had to reshoot some stuff. If I'm not mistaken, the train sequence wasn't even really how it was supposed to end. And same with the villain. Of course, that's probably one of the worst parts of this movie is the villain. We have Jessica Chastain coming in as the main villain, and what can I say? She's a very bland villain. You really don't really understand her motivation. Even her little minions, they're very mediocre, very average, villains. That's what they really are. And now, of course, we know the fight between all that, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were supposed to be Skrulls, but Captain Marvel was coming out, and they already had Skrulls. They already had the Skrulls mixed in with them, so they couldn't really be Skrulls. So they ended up being shapeshifter beings, but they just weren't called Skrulls. And like I said, that's probably the worst part of this movie, is that the villains are not very good. If they really could have just focused this movie on Jean and made kind of her the villain, kind of like, if we want to look at Multiverse of Madness, where, Scarlet Witch was the main villain. There was no other threat. She was the threat. And how terrifying is that's one of the most powerful beings is the threat. And like I said, they tried to do that a little bit with Jean, but the fact that we got this other force going after her, it just, it makes us not really care that much. But overall, I think the movie was okay. This is a very okay movie, very forgettable. Like I said, I just had to watch it because I was reviewing all the X-Men movies. And like I said, I think the performances were fine. Everything was just fine in this movie. Like, I know this movie gets a lot of hate, and like I said, I didn't see this in the theater. I didn't even see it when it first came out. I think the first time I saw it, I bought it on Blu-ray. I didn't even see it when it first initially came out, and I gave it a watch, and I'm like, oh, it's not as bad as everyone says it is. It's just it's just it is what it is. I guess another positive note, Hans Zimmer did the score for this movie, and the score is actually dope. I love the music to this movie. That's the funny thing. I love the music. I was like, oh, this music is actually pretty fire. And I guess some of the effects look okay too. But overall, I thought the movie was very blah. Sophie Turner was okay in the movie. All the other side characters okay. James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, they bring what they can to the roles they were given in this movie. And the fact that we end this version of the X-Men franchise with this movie is kind of disappointing, because I was kind of looking forward to see what they were going to do with these characters. I like, even with the actor who plays Scott in this movie, I'm like, oh, we can see potential with this guy. And even with the other characters, the actor played Nightcrawler, Storm, You know, we could, maybe we can see something with these characters in the future, but of course we don't get it because at the time Disney required the rights to Fox, and they weren't going to continue this storyline. They of course they're going to integrate it into the MCU, and now we're going to wait to see what they do with the X-Men franchise. So yeah, that's my thoughts on X-Men Dark Phoenix. Like I said, I know you probably just was thinking I was going to go into a rant, but I couldn't really go into a rant because, like I said, I watched it, I'm like, it's okay. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And but it's not the best thing I've ever seen. So it's kind of in that middle ground. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which is crazy. I thought I rated it on Letterboxd when I first saw it, but I guess I didn't. So like I said, it's a very mediocre movie. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button, please subscribe for more, and I'm out on this one, you guys. Peace out.